Sto. We provide practical advice to independent artists so that you don't have to struggle or participate in fucking capitalism, but still make your art and live off of it and make the... Listen, there's a lot going on, and today we're going to talk about all of it, which is not a coherent introduction. So I'm going to stop and pass it to Sto.
I mean, listen, we obviously we do. Hold on a second. Okay, there we go. Hopefully we're still live. Okay, perfect. But yeah, we usually do tips and advice and stuff like that, but there's too much going on right now to really go in on that topic, and so we'd rather talk about what's literally going on, even just as like a few hours ago. And we've always done this. So yeah, go ahead.
No, I was thinking about, I've been thinking a lot about this, the show must go on, the show must go on. And I've had so many like musicians and different kinds of like artists, performing people repeat that back to me, that the show must go on. And I think that not only is that a very capitalistic slogan, but it's also a really privileged thing to be able to say that the show must go on. And when there is so much happening in the world and things that are really impacting people's lives, the idea that we're going to pretend like everything is normal actually only benefits the systems of power that people are trying to struggle against. And so artists, I think, have a lot of power. And we've talked about this in previous episodes about the attention capital that especially like celebrities hold, that your fans listen to you, they pay attention to you, they watch for you. And so when, you know, the Department of Homeland Security is kidnapping people off the streets of Los Angeles or sending the military against its own people, or the US is supporting Israel and bombing Iran, or any other number of chaotic things that are happening where lawmakers are being shot and all this other stuff is happening. When we act like nothing is happening, we become complicit in like the state's violence against us as the people. And I think that's important to talk about. And I think it would have been so weird for us to come on today and be like, well, here's how you collaborate with your friends. Here's how you hack SoundCloud, when my heart is like literally breaking because my country is being attacked and people are dying. Where my neighbors down the street are afraid to go to the grocery store because they don't know if they or someone that they love is going to get picked up by ICE. Where like, it's just like, and I understand the desire. It's kind of like ostrich putting their head in the sand, and the desire to kind of like pretend like nothing is happening. And some people, I think, do some mental gymnastics around like, well, art is going to give people like a distraction. Maybe we don't need to be distracted right now. Maybe we really need to feel how much this fucking sucks so that we start to do something about it. Because for better or for worse, as human beings, we're really fucking resilient. And we will continue to acclimate and acclimate and acclimate to chaos. And at some point, we need to say, you know what? I don't want to get used to this. I don't want to get used to the National Guard being in my name. Like, I don't want to get used to that. I don't want to get used to, oh, haha, our president's doing something even more ridiculous than he did yesterday. I don't want to get used to it. And if we believe that art can be powerful and can change people, and it's more than about like someone's ego on stage having a million fans adoring them, then we also have to put some pressure on an artist, irregardless of if they're 100 million fans or 10 fans. Like, at some point we have to say some things are more important than your show, your song, your event. And we have to do for the, like, y'all, like, this is, we have to do something. Like, we can't just sit here and accept it. And so that's what we're talking about today, and that's how I'm feeling. And I don't know that even I want to like drop gems, but I want us to talk about like, this is not okay. What's happening, what's been happening in LA, in cities across the country, around the world, in Palestine, like none of this shit is okay.
Right. My Wi-Fi is mad unstable, so hopefully I'm still coming through. But what's very frustrating is that a lot of, like Nora said, the whole ostrich head in the sand type deal where, oh, it doesn't affect me directly for now, by the way. So I don't want to speak on it. I don't want to, do anything about it. I'm so sorry, but everything that's happening around us, it's only a matter of time before it's right at our doorstep if it isn't already. And some of y'all are acting like it's not. And that is very scary because, again, it just enables the people that are doing this. And so we have these platforms, and it's not just us. It's every artist, every creative has a platform and a chance to say or do something. And again, the whole, like Nora said, the show must go on. Like that, it doesn't though, because of everybody's lives that are genuinely at stake right now. And to be frank, that's been going on for years now. It's just it is now getting even worse than it was the first time around. And so I don't, I can't really believe people that are refusing to even see any of this and pretend like it's not happening in real time at this exact second, probably.
Yeah, it's the oh, it doesn't affect me, so I don't have to do anything part, which is like, no, but like all of these systems are connected.
Does.
So like everything that the cops are using now against protesters in LA, they learned in Portland, they learned in Minneapolis, they learned during
Chicago, Florida,
Black Lives Matter and all of that. Ferguson, they learned all of that in Palestine against the Palestinians when they were like, y'all think that this is not all one interconnected system, but it really, really is. So today they might villainize me, and tomorrow they might villainize this person, and then the day after they're going to villainize you, because if you don't see, and every time the people allow something to pass, allow something to become okay, that's just like one less layer of protection that we have, and one less layer of protection that we have. And what we're seeing now with ICE is that as people stand up, as people push back, then it becomes harder and harder for them. It's amazing how much a little pushback can do in getting government to have to scramble. And the one thing that has like 1,000,000% given me like fucking hope in all this chaos is seeing the ways that people are taking care of and looking out for each other. And it's not organized. Like, it's not like people are like, okay, well, I'm the boss and you're going to do this. And here's a spreadsheet. And it's people just sending messages. It's people being like, look, I saw this thing. It's people saying, hey, I'm going to go check this out and show up. And so again, I come back to, as artists, one, y'all are storytellers, like y'all are communicators. So there is so much that as an artist you could be doing to tell the story of what's happening, to talk about the systems, the structures, the processes, you can talk about this. You can make a difficult concept easy for people to understand. So there's so much that can be happening there. There's so much that can be happening in transferring information for folks. And then again, you have platforms, so you could be signal boosting so many things. And then when you tell your fans, do something, they will do it. And so in the same way you say, come to my show, you can say, y'all meet me at this protest, meet me at this action. You can partner up with a mutual aid organization and say, hey, I'm going to get my fans to help raise money for y'all so you can continue to bail people out, or you can continue to buy groceries, or you can continue to do what it is that you do. And so I'm also really frustrated. So I'm frustrated with oh, well, it's not my problem. Because if it's not you, it also is your fans. If you give a shit about your audience, best believe that they are impacted by one of the millions of things that are happening in the world right now. Best believe
At
that
some capacity,
on some level are feeling something. So if you don't do it for yourself, do it for your audience that has put you where you're at. Put it for the audience.
If not for human life. Sorry, I'm so sorry.
No, it's, you know, like we could, yeah. I mean, I don't even know what to say anymore. And I think especially with ICE, and, you know, like I work in hip hop, Sto, you work in hip hop, like hip hop is Black and hip hop is immigrant. Let's never forget that when hip hop was born in New York, it was influenced by Caribbean and Latin music. It was the Puerto Ricans and the Dominicans that were in the Bronx, and how that blended with what Black folks were creating and doing, and hip hop came to be. So we can't act like immigration is not a hip hop issue. We can't act like that. And then now you've got reggaeton and you've got Afro beats and you have reggae and you have all these other genres that dance and play with hip hop. And we can't sit there and be like, oh, it's not my issue. And so I think it's really important to talk about like what ICE does in the same way that police do, in the same way that prisons do, is take people out of a community that they belong to. And that just doesn't need to happen. And that's the whole abolish ICE. Like, we just need to get rid of policing altogether, because taking people out of their communities is a fucked up thing to do. And we should be all, but especially as artists and especially as hip hop heads and especially as creatives, need to be talking about this.
Even just something as basic as using your newsletter to like send out links, like to different, and it's not, you know, whether it's resources for people, whether it's where to donate to food banks and stuff like that. Like there is a lot that we can throughout all the platforms. It's so easy to be like and here's the other thing is that I do see a lot of people saying like, oh, well, no one's really paying attention to me anyway, so what's the point of me saying anything? And it's like, no, we can't. First off, we can't be thinking like that. Again, this is bigger than a viral moment, bigger than a fucking track blowing up or whatever. This is about genuine lives on the line that are being lost. People, parents being kidnapped, children losing their parents, like mass murder, like militarism at its height. Not height, but you know what I mean. Yeah. It's only going to keep getting worse if we don't say anything. Because again, for them, that's a green light. That's a green light for these people. And so, you know, I understand, again, wanting to look the other way, but it's like, you can't, it's here now. It's again, it's been here, but like, so many people again are saying, oh, well, that's California. That's just what's going on in California. Open your eyes. Like, all it takes is even just a quick Google search to see that protests are happening all over the place. The military's coming. Even, Jesus, I don't even want to mention the nigga's name, but like, he put out a whole letter saying where he's going next with the military. Like, it's only a matter of time before it's literally at your door. And so to act now as though it's like, oh, it doesn't affect me, it sure as fuck does. And so if you're not going to say anything now, I don't even know. I genuinely don't.
You know, I think a lot of people. Dang, Sto never cusses. I think a lot of people. Wait, I got so distracted by you cussing, I forgot what I was going to say.
No, first off, I definitely cuss. All right, like let's.
This is what I was going to say. Well, you never ever cuss. Anyways, this is what I was going to say. No, I think a lot of people like expect revolution to happen like overnight, or the opposite of that, right? They expect like the rise of fascism to happen overnight, and it doesn't. It happens in a million tiny actions that build up and build up and build up. And then you look in the same way that like success and fame happen. It's not like one day you're not famous and the next day you're famous. It happens slowly and slowly and slowly. And then one day you look back and you're like, holy shit, like this thing is happening. And so I think a lot of people see themselves as folks who are like active and engaged and activists, or they care, but they're waiting for like a moment. And y'all, what I'm saying is the moment is now. And there's so many different ways to take action. If you don't want to be in the protests, you can be checking in on people. If you don't want to be checking in on people, you could be sharing information. You can be making zines. You can be like, there's 25,000 different things that you could do, because social change needs all of us. It's for all of us and it needs all of us. But like, I don't know what people are waiting for. And as an artist, like, and we're not saying like quit music and become a 24/7 like rah activist. Like, I mean, I think activism is a lifestyle, but that's a different conversation. All I'm saying is build it into what you're doing. If you're asking for people's attention around your art and your music, then show them that you deserve that by speaking on the things that are impacting them. And the militarization of our communities is impacting everybody. War is impacting everybody. Like, all these things is going to impact one way or another all of us. And so and I honestly, like, this is me and Sto and we're talking to each other. I would love to hear how folks are feeling and navigating some of this. Like, and we always say like, let us know in the comments, but like, I genuinely do want to hear how you're processing. Like, what's it like? Have you canceled shows? Are you talking about this at your events? Are you creating opportunities? Are your fans, are you checking in on those like super fans? Like, I really would like to hear from y'all what this has been like for you. Because I think the other thing, and we talk about this a lot, is how important it is to build those like emotional connections with your audience. And the more you feel emotionally connected to people, the more you're going to be willing to fight for their freedom, their liberation, for justice, for their well-being. The more you're going to do community care stuff. And so that's part of why all this stuff is also so interconnected, that the ways that you show up for your fans should ideally be how you're also showing up for your community, and that your fans are your community and your community is your fans. And it's all this beautiful interconnected thing.
Your fans also notice.
100%. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, Sto. I just want to say, like, the number of conversations I've had with people who are like, I haven't heard so-and-so say anything and I'm upset. I haven't heard so-and-so do anything and I don't want to support them anymore. Your audience is paying attention and they will remember, and it does have repercussions.
Yeah, it's just they remember that. Like, again, this is something that's affecting all of us. So if you're not even willing to speak up about it to any type of degree, again, your fans are being directly affected in some cases by this. And it's again, it's happening all over the place. It's not just out west. It's not just in Florida. It's not just in Texas. It's not just in Chicago. It's not just it's everywhere now. And it's just evolving and getting worse. And so the more we as a music community and just a community in general stay silent, like I said, it just enables them to do it more, because there's people that are just willing to just pretend it's not happening.
Yeah. I don't want to keep this episode long, so maybe we wrap it up there. If y'all have questions, if you want to talk about this kind of stuff, like, the comments are here for us to continue these conversations. I'm also always available. Slide in my DMs respectfully, or schedule. Sure. Like, I'm always available to, like, let's talk about this. Let's break this down. Let's talk, like, we can get into all of this stuff if folks really want to, because I think that's important. Like, ask, if you're not sure, ask the questions, have the conversation. Right. But I think it's important that we say explicitly, we don't want military in our communities. We don't want ICE in our communities. We don't want Israel fighting in Iran. We want Palestine to be free. We want you know, like, I think it's important to say all of those things. I will remind everybody to continue to take care of yourself, but take care of yourself in community. You're not
Yeah.
separate from your community. You're part of your community. And so take care of your community and take care of yourself. And come back to office hours in a couple weeks where we'll talk about something more music business related or not, depending on what's happening in the world.
What's going on? Yeah, I second all of that, of course. Now is the time to speak. Let's not wait until things get even worse than they already are before we say something. All right. Drink water, talk nice to yourself for even just a second. And yeah, but also talk nice to each other, unless you're a scumbag. All right, we're out of here.
Bye.